So hello everybody, how are you today? Hey Pioneer, you are the first one. Congratulations. Yay! So this is the Demetri K show and it would have been Wealth Wednesdays with Walter except for I was going to say something else, but I'm not. It's Thursday. And so we've moved Wealth Wednesdays with Walter to Thursday because Walter was still in Mexico and he had not landed yet, for the time of the show. And so we decided to move it today. And we won't be here that long because everybody, I'm sure you guys have had a long day as well. So we'll be here about an hour or so, but we are going to talk about Black businesses on the business owner side and on the customer service side. And really just see what it is that we can learn, how to do better Black business, how to be better Black customers, and everything in between. And so I'd like to say a big giant welcome to Walter for being here of Verbal Herb, if you will. And then, of course, to YouTube and Facebook, the other side of the conversation. You all are not just viewers, but you are the co-host, where we read your comments, questions, and concerns because we felt like you should be heard as well. So let's hear the Pioneer and Brother Reggie, how you doing? And Pamela's Way, what's going on with you? And Stacy, how you doing? Reginald. All right. So Walter, what say you before we get started? How you doing? How was your trip to Mexico?
Oh, it was amazing. I love Mexico. Great place. It's good to go and get a reality check from the real world. You go in Mexico where they pay their people, and we can talk about this more in detail. They pay their people 12 to 1,500 pesos a week, which comes out to about $75 a week is what their people make. Hotel clerks, restaurant workers, painters, you name it. They give them a pretty low wage. So you go into a restaurant in Mexico, they got 20 million workers in there. The service is incredible. They're giving each person $75 a week. So, but the people are happy. They make their money on tips. So they are like working their ass off to make you happy because they get their money and, they get a 10% royalty or tip. And so that's where a lot of them make their money. And so it was nice to go. We went to Guanajuato and then Guanajuato, I don't know, and San Miguel for a week. Just amazing to see this beautiful landscape. And the crazy part is a lot of Americans, Canadians, Australians, Europeans have moved to San Miguel, Mexico. It looked like for a second I thought I was in San Diego. Nice weather, affordable foods. You can eat out every day and not go broke. A beer is 75 cents, $1. It's just great place. It's good to get away and see the real world, the rest of the world, the way that they actually live. And it made me come back here and just go, wow, man, I'm doing well. I'm really having a good life compared to somebody, the guy that took us to the airport was like, I got deported. He was a DACA kid and I got deported. And so I'm back over in Mexico. My family stayed in America and I'm out here working 2 jobs and I'm stuck. I can't never go back to the US unless, I don't know. He don't even know.
Right.
And, he was just like, the opportunities you guys have, we would die. And some of us do. They have, and with this, in Guatemala, they have the train, the train. In Guatemala, what these people were doing is they would hop on the train while it's moving and ride it all the way up into central Mexico, all the way up. If you can just imagine jumping on top of a train and riding it for hundreds of miles on top of the train. He said people, they lose feet on the train. I mean, you just imagine trying to jump on a moving train, you and your family. So it was very eye-opening to see, being outside of the country and what most other countries live like compared to what we have here and the opportunities that we have and, most of us don't take.
Cool. All right, so that was Walter's little spiel on Mexico. He was there for about a week or so, and so he'll tell us a little bit more about that, I'm sure, in next week or whatever. But today we're going to talk about doing business while Black. Now, I titled it Doing Business While Black because I wanted to talk about it from all aspects of doing business, not just from a business owner standpoint, but from a customer service standpoint as well, because it's going to take both the business owner and customers to make Black businesses work. Of course, you guys know that we don't have as many Black businesses as we should, and definitely as we used to before segregation. Of course, you guys know about that of Black Wall Street and other Black towns that had not just, a clothing store, but they had hospitals, schools, grocery stores, cleaners, you name it, everything that was needed to function. And it wasn't just one, like hospitals, couple hospitals in these Black towns and stuff. So, of course, we need to get back to that, because as we also know, we make about $1.3 trillion in our community, and we give about 97% of that away to everyone else. Some of that is because we are economically, and I will say, dead, as far as we don't think to go do business with our own people. And a lot of that is because we don't have Black businesses like everyone else has business. And the other part of that is, well, there's a lot of complaints, and people say that Black businesses don't operate right. And then we know sometimes Black customers don't operate in the right way, as far as wanting discounts and things like that. And so we want to have a discussion for about an hour as to what we can do on both sides. And then please feel free to put your experiences in the chat or the comment section here, and we would love to address them. And Pioneer says, Tariq Nasheed spoke on this. We foundational Black Americans, Afro Americans, actually fought for our rights and opportunities to make things better. They didn't. They would rather just submit or run away to the U.S. So, and who is this they? You talking about Mexicans or somebody else? And then Reginald says, now I know why people here send their money there. Yeah, they get a bigger bang for their buck. That guy from Texas, how are you doing? And Brother Reggie said, oh, yeah, how's your health, Brother Walter? Hope things are moving in a positive direction. Everything's good?
It's getting better. I treat myself better. That's for sure. Cutting some of the stress out. I stopped answering a lot of phone calls. That helps.
Right. The stress level goes down. And so, Walter, and then the Pioneer, he says, good question. I took it that Brother Walter was going to talk about his health and experiences in Mexico anyway. I'm sure he'll weave that into the conversation. But what is your overall experience as being a Black business owner?
You're talking about me?
Yeah, you're Black, ain't you? Ain't you Black?
Well. So I mean, I guess with me it's a little bit different. I don't really look at it as when I'm doing businesses. I don't really look at it my race. I try not to look at my race. I just try to look at it as a business owner. But unfortunately, people do look at your color.
Well, I'm not saying as far as you looking at your race. I'm just saying as far as you being a Black business owner, because me and you talked and you told me about some experiences that you've had trying to hire our people. So what has been your experience as far as that? Because whether we address it or not, you are a Black business owner. So what has been your experience with that?
Well, I mean, to go to the side of concern, I would say, I think we struggle with self-esteem. So when you struggle with self-esteem, it's hard to see yourself as something nice. So I was saying, when I trying to hire Black people in business sometimes is tough, because I don't think they see themselves as deserving. So, it's hard, like I was saying, I hired a couple of sisters to work for me and they didn't show up. And so, after doing this 2 or 3 times, I just hired the next person that just was in line, which happened to be these 3 Mexican chicks. And so, I agonized over it, because I was like, man, I really want to keep this in my race. I'm like, damn, at what point, so
what do you think the issue is as far as you being able to, in your opinion, not being able to hire Black people? What do you think the issue is?
I think we reminisce with pain. We reminisce with the past and how jacked up things were. And so we get comfortable with the pain. And so we don't go after it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I could start a podcast about Black pain and the shit people did to us, and it would be a hit. But I'm like, hey, let's start a business together and let's make moves, and I can show you what to do. And it's like watching paint dry for people, because I think we hold on too much to the pain. So, like when I started my candle company, I hired a couple of sisters, and they just poof puffed the magic dragon. Like no phone call, just oh something came up at work. I'm like, well, damn. At what point does something become important enough where stuff doesn't come up?
Let me play devil's advocate here because I do that sometimes. Do you think, and I'm not saying you are because I don't have any inside, information or anything as a Black business owner, and you saying that people they show up and then they don't come back. Do you think perhaps it's maybe something on your end? Like if you could think of anything, do you think it has anything to do with that?
I think sometimes I set expectations too high. Like one thing problem I have, and I think this could have something to do with it, is when I like, for instance, when I started LYT, lit, the lit candle company, or it's a lit.1 if you're looking for it. I laid out our income potential and what we could do with lit and how to get this thing going and how, we could divide the money from each candle. You know, I said, listen, like right now, Kylie Jenner has a candle line. And I was like, oh, Kanye's his former financial planner has a candle line. So I was like, let's just tag that chick. You know what I'm saying? Kanye's financial planner and Kylie both start a candle line at the same time. And it was like a lofty goal. And it was like, here's the income and here's how we can make our money. Here's the marketing. And I think I just painted the picture too big. And I think they just couldn't see themselves doing that well. So I think maybe that could be some of it. I tend to paint this grand picture of the way things could be, in which they can
Do
be.
you think they maybe just had a hard time believing in the vision, and then I just got to ask, was there pay involved?
Of course, there's pay. I mean, so I can say like when I started Lit Candle Company, I had this girl come to me. She bought a car for me, and her nickname was the Hope Heal Her. And I was like, "Dope Deal Her?" She said, "No, Hope Heal Her." I said, "Oh, don't mind if I use the Hope Deal Her." And so we talked, and I said, "I tell you what, let's get this candle company off the ground, and I will help you with your business too." So me and her went to a candle supply company. I bought all the materials, the candle, the wax, the stems, everything, the candle stuff, the pots, the pans. Upstairs in one of my bedrooms is a whole candle company. That's how we make these candles that are burning right now. I bought everything, paid for everything. All she had to do was show up and start making candles, and we split the money. And she had baby daddy drama. Dude calling her, kid's mom needs you back, and she's like, "Oh," and poof, I never saw her again. That's the type of stuff I'm talking about. Or we just get so used to the drama stuff that we don't see ourselves doing well. And so, of course, there's money in it. I mean, you know me, shit.
All right.
I mean, my problem is I think too big. I think it's okay to make enough money to travel and to be okay. I just think it makes sense to just like being in Mexico, and I hear a lot of people saying, you know, you know, people get money and they send it to Mexico, and it's hard to make money in Mexico. That's actually not true. It's actually very easy to make money in Mexico. It's easier to start a business in Mexico than it is in the United States. It's very easy to start a business. As a matter of fact, we contemplated it. We looked at starting a restaurant. We looked at buying real estate. We looked at several business opportunities while we were down there. So it's very easy to start a business in Mexico.
Let me jump in here and address it. Hey, y'all see me looking out the window for some reason. Whenever Walter is on this show, I ain't saying it's you, brother. It gets to raining and thundering and lightning. It's like, what's really going on here? So anyway, that's why I keep looking at my window. I want to address this comment by a pioneer. It says a lot of our people simply have poor work ethic, don't show up to work on time, have a bad attitude, don't want to listen to authority, etc. Let's keep it 100. And so I'm going to ask y'all, do y'all, let's keep it 100. Do y'all feel like that is the truth, or is that more a stereotype in your opinion? Walter, what do you say about that?
I mean, I don't agree that Black people don't work hard. I think most of us do. I think what you see, though, I mean, first of all, like there are a lot of Black business owners. There are. And so it's not to say that we are a lazy people. I just think the people that we see sometimes aren't, I don't know, maybe what we see in the media is portrayed that we're lazy. Or maybe some of the people that are looking for work just don't, I don't know, they don't see themselves earning the money. Because I think if you start your own business, and obviously you see it, and I'm not hiring business owners, I'm hiring people that are looking to help me grow um, grow my business. So I don't think that we're lazy. I just think we don't see ourselves. Like, I'll give you a case in point. Me and you talked about this. Um, I watched this movie. I'm watching this show on Netflix, All American. Good movie with Tay Diggs. Good show. You know, the beginning of it was I kind of had to pump the brakes on it because it turned into nigga shit. Um, but you know, they have like this black family that Tay Diggs married to a white woman. That's a whole nother subject, and they beat that up to death. You know, so he's a sellout. You know, they deal with that. But they actually have a pretty nice family, and it turns out that the wife, who's white, Mexican or mixed, whatever, is like wanting to help the black community, and so they mix Crenshaw and Beverly Hills, and it's just turned into gang violence and wars. And I'm like, man, at what point do we have a black show that does not involve violence, crime, and ratchetness? You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's a good show, but like, I just find myself going, oh my god, that's nigga shit. Oh, here we go with here come the cranes, here come the man. How about just a show where the black women aren't? You better get your ass in the house. You heard what I said, or you know, the men disappear. The father shows up in the kid's life, and then he dies and shit. It's just the typical stuff that says black people, you are not worthy. And then in the show, of course, it's like most black shows. Oh man, you too good. You made it. You went to Beverly Hills. You escaped the hood. You ain't one of us no more. Every other comment in the show is like attacking Tay Diggs about moving to Beverly Hills.
Right. And let me jump on that question. Let me actually go back to it, Pioneer, and I'm going to get to the rest of y'all's statements. So you say where to go. A lot of our people simply have work ethics, don't show up to work on time, have a bad attitude, don't want to listen to authority, etc. Let's keep it 100. I would say, because I see people having different opinions. Some people say it's a stereotype. Some people say it's all racist, but it's true, and what have you. I would say this because we know we are in the service industry predominantly. It's black people service industry, whether it's restaurants, warehouses, or things like that. Typically, that pay tends to be what? It tends to be lower and in the minimum wage range and things like that. And so, for whatever reason, we are in those jobs, and it's not very motivating to show up for minimum wage or a little bit more than minimum wage. You know what I mean? And typically in those jobs, you got to deal with the public, and the public, especially nowadays, is not that kind, or you maybe just don't want to deal with the public. And so I say all that like that to say, I'm not making excuses for people showing up being lazy and all that other stuff, but I just don't think the motivational factor is really there, because if I'm at a warehouse or McDonald's or a service industry job, I kind of feel like, well, I could get a job anywhere, especially if it's a service industry job. I could go get me one of those anywhere. I'm not going to put up with the nonsense or whatever at this warehouse or this restaurant or whatever it is. And so I think that has a lot to do with it. And let's be honest, a lot of service industry jobs don't pay a living wage, and we have a lot of our people working at places like a Walmart or something like that. And I can't think of it too many times that I've walked into a Walmart and seen any of our people there and happy about it. You know what I mean? So I think that has a little to do with it. And let's see here. Who else had something to say? Y'all talking about Walter Brings the Thunder. That's funny. No, Pioneer. You say, sis, I thought you were going to say looking out the window because some white dudes in a suit were marching up toward the house. I sure hope not. I hope it's what is it? Publishers Clearinghouse, where they're going to say you got a check because I ain't did nothing. And Brother Reggie says, if people can't see the vision or don't believe in it, oh, well, time to move on without them. Yeah. And I'm glad you said that, because a lot of times, I know, where was it? Field of Dreams, I think it was the name of the movie with Kevin Costner. He said, if you build it, they will come. A lot of times that's just the way people are. So it's not necessarily that they don't believe in your vision. They like, especially, that's why I bring in, because a lot of times when people want you to help them build their business, they're not, someone was like biting me or something. when they want you to build their business, they're not necessarily talking about money. You know, it's usually, well, help me get it off the ground, and there's gonna be some residuals and some percentages, and it's like most people are like, listen, if money wasn't a problem, I wouldn't be coming to you. I'm coming to you for a check, and so I don't have time to help you build your business. So I say all that to say, if you build it, they will come. Most of the time, when people see you got a thriving business or something running, and you can pay them some money, then yeah, they're motivated to work. But a lot of times we have these startups, and even startups, they're like, yeah, you know, you get in on the ground floor, I'm going to pay you. And then when it takes off, then you're going to get more money, right? But there's still an incentive for people to, you know, go forth with that vision, if it makes any sense. Pioneer say, even many of the business owners are lazy. Laugh out loud. That ain't the media. That's what you see with your own eyes. Not all or even most, but a large portion. So let's stop and start right there. And I promise I'm going to get to the rest of y'all comments. So you say, even business owners are lazy. You know what? We keep it in 100, right? I would say since I've been in Houston, I found that to be true for all except for 2 Black businesses that I have dealt with. The one that 2 Black businesses that are up and just doing everything perfectly. And I'm not even looking for perfection, but just like, damn, can I just get the service I'm paying for? It is my lawn guy, Terrence. Wonderful. I love him to death. I would not trade him for the world. He is awesome. Like when he does my lawn, it looks 110% better than my neighbors, right? My neighbors, people show up, mow the grass and keep it pushing. But he comes and kills the weeds and all that stuff. And this other Black-owned restaurant I just discovered not too long ago, everything. And I even told him, I said, this business is operating well, from the customer service to the food, to the prices, to the ambiance, everything. But other than that, I don't have a lot of good things to say about, you know, some of the other Black businesses I've been to in Houston so far. So maybe it's just because I haven't been to all Black businesses. So
I mean, there's a lot of good Black businesses, but I mean, we tend to reminisce with the negativity, the past, with pain. So for us, it's easier to spot a Black business that's not doing as well as one that is, you know. And I think it comes down to our self-esteem. I know what you mean, that chicken place that be out of chicken. I get it. I've been to that spot 100. It's like, damn, we were in Las Vegas and we saw. Remember that time who was the comedian that was in there? George Wallace walked in when we were sitting there, and the dude was carrying chicken from the grocery store at a chicken spot. I'm like, how y'all niggas run out of chicken?
And the restaurant was, and if any of y'all been to Vegas, the restaurant is a very popular restaurant. It's called M&M's. Very popular soul food restaurant. We go in there, you know, and sit down, and they said, we out of chicken. And even George Wallace, he was in there. He was like, what is going on here? So they come in with bags of chicken from the local grocery store, and it was like, okay, we got chicken, and you know, it'll be right up. And about an hour or so later, you know, did we even finish eating there?
I don't even think. I think because we didn't wait for them to finish cooking the chicken.
Yeah, because it was just taking forever. So yeah, I was like,
that's the self-esteem thing I'm talking about, because we don't see that we deserve it. It's kind of what I was talking about this show. And when you see Blackness on TV, it's like, okay, if you do too good, we are going to diss you. And the crazy part is, if you do too good, the diss is coming from hood. And when I say hood, I don't mean people from like the Crenshaws and the people that are, you know, I'm just talking about mentality hood. Like, I dare you, Negro, do better and move to a nice part of LA. Like, who in the hell do you think you are to move to Beverly Hills? Like, I dare you. So we have that as a people, and it's easy to get that conversation going. Then you have the other side. If you have somebody like Nipsey that stays, and the show actually spends an episode on that, because I think he died during the filming of the series. But when you stay in the hood too long, then you get killed. And then we're like, damn, he should have left. So it's like, which one is it? Should I leave and take my family and then come back and slowly get people from the hood? Or should I just stay in the hood and wait for the day, you know, like in the show, the kid that gets moved to Beverly Hills? It's actually not a bad story. It's a true story, but he gets shot and all kinds of shit. And I'm like, damn, he moved to Beverly Hills and you still get shot, you know? And so It's just that's black was what we, for whatever reason, are so comfortable seeing ourselves struggle. Like even in 2022, we still making fun of the dude that moved out of the hood to have a better life. You know, I just
And let's address this. Love JJ, how are you doing? It says millions of people are working to be poor. This is a decades upon decades old issue in the system. In this system, the majority of our people will never get over, quote unquote, poverty is manufactured. And I agree with you. It is manufactured, and there's a lot of working poor people. And I think we should also deal with, a lot of times people say, oh, well, why don't you do better? And it's like, okay, well, let's just take the scenario. If everybody does better, go get their own businesses, then who will serve your coffee? Who will shine your shoes?
You will shine your shoes, or somebody will shine your shoes, and you will make him coffee. It's called the bartering system, and that's how the world worked before the Industrial Revolution. Is people traded stuff, soap for this, or what? Hey, I can make soap, you can make shoes. Why don't we trade? That's how it worked. And in Mexico, you see that you have trouble finding Walmart big box stores in Mexico, like Guanajuato, San Miguel. You have trouble finding these big stores. They still barter. So poverty is manufactured. You don't have to go work at that factory. You don't have to do that. Poverty, redlining, this stuff is designed to keep black people down, but you don't have to work there. You don't have to work there. And this is what I want to get my point across is to people. And black people, when we get here, you'll never catch us. Ever, ever, ever. Is you don't have to work in that factory. You say, you know what? I'm going to start my own. Or I'm going to work at this factory. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm going to start building my own factory. You guys, it's so doable. Like, I'll give you a case in point. I determined I was going to put money away no matter what. I don't give a damn what happens. I'm going to put money away. And so once a week, this new company, they take $100 a week out of my bank account and they put it, invest it for 30, 40 years from now. It's money I don't even think about. And I just know I don't like doing it, but I know it's necessary. That's it. So in 20 years from now, if I'm saving $400 a month at a 12% interest rate, I know, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to have $1 million saved. And I ain't going to be like, I ain't going to be that dude. But like, and so I ain't going to be like telling my grandkids how fucked up it is to be a black man in America or this happened to me. I'm going to be like, no, I saved $100 a week plus another $300-400 here. And then we got $8 million saved. And we can do whatever the fuck you guys want this weekend.
Yeah, and I want to just say something about that. Yeah, so I don't know about, specifically telling your kids how effed up it is to be a black man or a black woman in America. But I think we do our children a disservice when we do not educate them about being black in America. Because I tell you one thing, no matter how much money you have in this country, as far as being black, and we've seen people from all walk, black people from all income brackets, if you will, have issues with being black in America. And so I say that because I know a lot of people with kids, and oftentimes I feel sad for their kids because their parents have not taught them what, being black in America is. I'm not saying being black in America is all bad, but, just in general, like a lot of people, our children are just oblivious to it all. And guess what we do? We send them to schools. And normally, because we are of that mindset, we send them to these white schools thinking, oh, I'm going to send them to a white school because it's better there. And, I can't send them to no ghetto school and all that. And then they get to those white schools and they just as worse off as they would have been in a black school because, for one thing, their parents have sent them to these white schools and have not taught them who they are as black people and, everything else in between. And so they get a rude awakening from, being around a whole bunch of white people who was like, well, you're here because, maybe your dad has some money, but other than that, we don't want you here. You probably your kids probably get called the N-word more so than they would at a school in their neighborhood or whatever the case is. And so I just, kind of wanted to just add that to it. We should be teaching our kids what it is to be black in America on it as far as good things and the bad side. That way they don't have a rude awakening.
And that's so alluding to what I was saying earlier is I don't teach them that it's effed up to be a black man in America. We teach them how to be a strong black man and how to build. Like, you know me, all my kids, I send them YouTube videos all the day. The Wealth Gap, this, that. I got black books. In one of my libraries, I got black books. Me and my kids, we always have a conversation about greatness. And, my kids will tell you who invented the lawnmower, the stoplight, Garrett Morgan. They'll tell you all that stuff. My kids, we know notorious about having the black superpower conversation. We have that conversation all the time. And 3 of my kids are half white. And we have this conversation about black power all the time. But what I don't do is sit around and tell them how jacked up it is to be black in America. I tell them to be strong, take care of yourself, save your money. When you see a cop, here's a guy that went to a training school for weeks and then mental toughness. And they notorious for beating the shit out of their wives, which is why cops have the #1 domestic violence rate in the world. You get married to a cop, you probably getting your ass kicked anyway. So what do you think they're gonna do when they run across you? So when you see a cop, just know that these guys aren't well trained. Half of them are wound up tight. It's a wrap. So when you see a cop, shut the fuck up and keep it moving. Take your ticket. If they say, hey, man, what are you doing over here? Hey, man, this is my house. I own this house. Whatever. But, running your mouth and my rights, man, you don't have rights if you get shot by one of these ignorant fools. And so my kids have seen me get pulled over a bunch of times. And they know my conversation, how I feel about, police conduct. But I still educate them on what to do. And you know where I learned this from? My father, my Muslim militant black father. When we would get pulled up, the police would show up, his attitude would change. Yes, sir. No, sir. What do you need? And then he would wait for the cop to leave, and then he would educate me on here's what happened. That, he's this person, whatever. He would explain it to me, but he would wait till the situation was cooled off. I never saw my father get in trouble with the police, and he got pulled over a bunch of times. I saw that. So there's a way to say, hey, okay, you got to watch yourself, but there's a way to go about it. You understand what I'm saying? And so what I learned from my father he was running a business in the 60s and 70s and 80s, dealing with black crime and white officers and all that shit. But I still took something from it.
Right. And love JJ. He says the question is, how do we define being black in America? But yeah, that discussion is extremely important. I mean, being black, it means different things to many different people. But I think at the very least we should educate. Because see, a lot of times, and we hear this a lot. We think being black in America, well, I guess black in America kind of does start with slavery, but we don't tell the other side of who we were before we got over here, as chattel, if you will. We tend to start there and then forward, but we need to tell the whole experience. And I always tell you guys this: if I one day ask my daughter, I said to her, you know what, I'm not going to be able to do my show today, but I need you to sit here and do the show. Do you know my daughter could do this show? And she can have a discussion with y'all just like I'm having a discussion with y'all. The point that I'm making is, as far as, I can remember from a baby, I taught her what I know as far as being, black in America. I didn't shield anything from her. My daughter was not, how do you say this? What is the word when people protect their children? They, I guess, sheltered. She wasn't sheltered from any of that kind of stuff. And so, my daughter, she can do is talk and speak on black issues and a lot of other stuff, just like I can. So I just think we need to start teaching our children about themselves. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So let me get to some of these other comments. And April says, failure in parenthood is a real thing. Oh, because we often think that all I got to do is just clothe them, feed them, and I don't know, maybe put them in a sport, take them to church. And we leave off all the other stuff, right? There's a lot of our children running around here who have no idea of who they are at all. And when I say who they are, means black people.
The problem with our kids, they don't have no skills.
Well, whose fault is that?
It's theirs and it's ours to some degree. The parents, we can only take responsibility for so much. right? Because a lot of us, we saw our parents going to make money, going to work. That's it, right? But I don't know. It's both of our faults. Because like I saw my parents work, and I figured it out. Oh shit! I need to work. I need to have a trade. I need to be able to take care of myself. My stepfather, Jeremiah's dad, when I was 13 years old, I was playing these buckets in the garage, these 2 paint buckets. I was making beats, and he goes, "What do you want to do with your life?" He goes, "You should be a stockbroker." I was 13 years old. We were living on by Nota Vista. What's that? Olympia Street, I think it is, or whatever. And he said, "You should be a stockbroker. Stockbrokers makes this much per year, and da 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 da." He said that to me, and it stuck to me. And when I grew up, I became a stockbroker from that one conversation me and my stepfather had. And then all those years of watching my father run his business, it's ironic that I have a car business now, and I was a stockbroker. And my stepfather, even though he wasn't a stockbroker, he was like, "You should do that." And my father was in the auto business. So I did both. So I could blame shit on my parents. Oh, I don't have no skills. But that would be my fault. If I didn't have any skills today, it would be my fault. And if you don't have parents or uncles or aunts that laid the way, you have YouTube, you have Netflix, you have documentaries, you have Bloomberg TV. The documentary I sent to you was from Bloomberg. The Wealth Gap was this Chinese chick breaking down the wealth gap, Black American. I sent it to everybody, to 50 people, and like 6 people responded. You know what I'm saying? But if I send him Chris Rock slapping the shit out of Will Smith, everybody responds. So we need to own that stuff.
Let me get that. And let's see here. You know what? Let me come on back to Pam. I'm gonna come back to you. Let me go back to Brother Jonell. You say we program we program not to give our children the truth. Majority is not raised on reality but illusion. Absolutely. And unfortunately, not all, but some of us in Black parents, we do that. We give them you're equal. And listen, I'm not saying we not. But in reality, you send your kids to school talking about, oh, you equal to them and they gonna treat you right and racism doesn't exist. And that's an illusion, right? But reality is it does exist. And so a lot of times we do send our children, to these other schools, these better schools, because we're thinking they're going to get better treatment. And it's like, I mean, you listen to some of these kids who have gone to these quote unquote better schools and they'll tell you that they'll be traumatized probably for the rest of their life due to the racism that they experience, because their parents was able to maybe buy them a better education. But what good is the education if your child is traumatized every day by racists, and everything else in between?
Well, there's some truth to that, but like let's look at it from a bigger scale too. I mean, sending your kid to a better school doesn't mean that he has to go to a white school. I mean, there's nobody that says that going to a better school has to be a white school. And if that's what the conversation we're having right now, we have already admitted to being a lesser, weaker people.
But I want to kind of push back on that, because we know that when most times our people say that, they talking about sending them to a white school. And let's be honest, and I know there's, the Nation of Islam, they have their, schools and everything, and all of that. But in reality, where are all these Black good schools? We know in most neighborhoods, the Black schools are being shut down, and they're being allowed to shut down by a lot of these politicians we keep electing into office. And so that's normally what people are talking about when I'm sending my kid to a better school. They're talking about to the white school.
But do you automatically search for a white school? So here's another way. Or do you just look for a school that is in a better neighborhood, a school that is cleaner? Like I noticed, some of the schools better schools happen to be predominantly white. But why can't we do that? You realize if we just as one generation just start doing what I always tell people to do, is take some of your money and put it away. Put it somewhere and just start doing that, man. In one generation, not even I'm not talking like a generation like 80 years old. I'm talking 20 years, like a generation. You know what I'm saying? Like you have kids at 25 and they have kids at 25. That's a generation. I'm talking about like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like today, I spent. Oh man, it drains the shit out of me. That was my ex-wife in a counseling appointment from 2025. Yeah, man, I'm trying to keep this shit together, but like I'm like, damn. I'm explaining to her in this counselor, and he's looking at me like, nigga, I don't know how you do it. Um, I said, man, my kids are doing okay. I said because I set some things up for them, and I constantly teach them what to do. That's it. It's just a better. It's a generation, so they know it. Now, what they do with it is up to them. But based on what I've taught them and what I teach them about money and everything, they're already in a better position. And if they're not, they know they can be, and they know that they should be. So, and I didn't send them to a white school for that. Now, it's funny. When we moved into a better neighborhood, the school was predominantly white. They went to Poly High School. But it wasn't because the school was white. We just moved into a better neighborhood. And it just happened to be more white people. And I know that's because of the wealth gap. But sooner we'll be having this conversation in 45 years. If we don't start, and then the only way to fix this is money. Like I found this ring in Mexico. It's a Mexican dollar on a ring. And I was like, damn, all I think about is money. You know, I was just in my thoughts, and I'm walking past this booth, and the lady has this ring, and I said, I'm gonna buy this. And my girl's like, why do you want that? I said, because I'm married to the money. That's it. Money moves everything. It's all money. The shirt I'm wearing, revenue equals rights. It's all money, money, money. 100%. It's money. If my kids are doing better financially, their kids can do better if they teach them about money. It's all money. All this other shit we talking about, it's not gonna change a damn thing. It ain't gonna never change. We start putting more money away, and I don't know why this is so tough. Like as a black business owner, which is what the show is about, you have your own business and you put money away. It don't mean you're not gonna struggle. I was gone for 10 days and I came back and my car business was to shit. I was like, fudge, like, whoa, like, man, okay, I got some work to do. But so you still have your challenges, but you keep going and you act like a business owner. Man, if it's 8 o'clock and your ass is not dressed and you're not up and you're not grinding or doing something to better yourself, then you're fooling yourself. I mean, it's 10 o'clock and you're fucking in pajamas. You still getting your coffee at 10 a.m. You deserve to be poor, live in your car in the trunk, be dead broke to the BROKE. You deserve that. When you wake up, the money is moving. Like, there you go, Albie. It's funny. We love these rappers. Cash moves everything around me. Cream get the money. But it's fucking 9 o'clock and we're still in pajamas.
Yeah, that I don't understand. I mean, you know, I don't like getting up early all the time. And some days I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sleep in at 7 o'clock. Now, to some people, they like, that's late. For me, that's late because I feel like if I get up after 7 o'clock, it's going to take me a minute to get up. If I'm going to run it or whatever, I got to get dressed. And then I got to contemplate the meaning of life for a minute. And by that time, I get up at 7 o'clock and do all that. It's 9 o'clock. So if I get up early, you know, and I can get things done, I'm not one of those people who like to work all day. I like to say, okay, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, whatever. I want to be done with everything. So I like to get up early. But yeah, I'm with you on that as far as people, you know, unless you're just super rich and you got all the money coming in. I don't know what you do for a living. That's fine. But a lot of people, you will find out that who have financial issues, they like to sleep a lot. They love it, and they all follow the Bible. What does it say about people who love sleep? It doesn't say that you know, it's for lack of better words, you'll be poor, you'll have some struggles and all of that. So it's like you love to sleep more than you like to eat. And if you sleep, you probably ain't gonna eat because how do you make money? So I don't know. I mean, like, I don't love to get up early, but it's just a habit. And so we do have to build those good habits of getting up and not just get up, but like have a plan, have a strategy. Okay, where is the money today? Like I tell my daughter, even if your goal is just to make $1 today, like make that. So you get in a habit of making money opposed to just saying, you know, as they say, poor people allow the day to rule them. They wake up and say, oh, what am I going to do today? I don't know. Whichever the way the wind blows me, then I'm going to do that. But rich people and successful people, they already know before they go to bed the night before what they have to do the next day. They get up and they execute it, and then the rest of the day is theirs, and they can afford to go on vacation and all this other stuff. But yeah, you sleeping all day, all morning and afternoon, and then shit. Most by the time you get up, most people who are business owners like, shit, I'm retiring for the day. So yeah.
And it's all you have to do is take a little bit of effort. Like if you work an 8-hour day, take another hour and put on your business. You don't have time. Like last night, I tried to watch the show All American. My plane landed. I got here at 10 o'clock. I had somebody at my house for my car business at 10 o'clock. This lady was at my house. Anyways, long story. Looking at some other cars and questions. She spoke no English, but she had a question. So she came to my house at 10 o'clock. Was at my house when I got home from the airport. And then I ended up cleaning my kitchen and doing a bunch of stuff. And I'm watching this show at 2 a.m. All American, just trying to catch up on it. And then I went to bed at like 2, 3 a.m., woke up at like 6 and went to work. You know what I'm saying? But the point I'm making is take the time you have and do something productive. That it makes no sense. It's so easy, you guys. When I say it's easy, just do it. But you guys be killing me, man. And shut the fuck up with the excuses. Oh, I can't do it. My childhood was fucked up. So was mine. So I had fucked up moments of my childhood. Was it all great? No. But am I going to sit here and say, oh my God, my childhood ruined my life? You're a fucking loser. Like your childhood did not ruin your life. Helen Keller was blind and deaf and was a motivational speaker. And you got 2 eyes, you can see arms and legs and all kinds of, some of y'all got so much shit going on, we can't even keep up. And you have an excuse not to move? No, that is laziness. And Black people, stop being okay with not being great. We are the strongest surviving. Like we have Black Wall Streets and all these things happen to us and we still survive. Like for me to be a Black man in this country with multiple businesses, not that they're all growing yet, but to be able to start them and deal with all the other shit that I have to deal with after everything that's happened to Black people, it's like if I can do it, you can do it. But for whatever, the only difference between me and most Black people, I think, that the Black people we're talking about anyways, is I just say, fuck it, I'm going to try it. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to try something else. And you know, it's funny, when you're working hard, and Black people, we need to be nice to each other. When you see somebody working, let them go. Help them get started. Don't start criticizing them and running your mouth and how they shit ain't working. If it ain't working, it won't work. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and that's kind of the problem with us as a people. I don't know how to what degree, but I was having this conversation with somebody the other day, and it's like when we see somebody in our community, they have the ball, they have the attention, they have the spotlight, or whatever it is, then we try to, not all of us, but the crab in the bucket mentality. Well, we try to snatch them down instead of saying, you know what, they got the ball right now. Let's try to, help them carry the ball. And then when they get to where they're going, then they can maybe, come back and get a couple of more of us. But we don't have that mentality. Not all, but some of us, it's just like, well, I don't want to see them get it. So I'm going to do everything I can to bring them down, really, instead of being uplifting. And so I'm going to get to some of these other comments. And I love JJ says, Helen Keller could not speak either. Yes, she can hear, speak, see. She was completely without, the faculties that we have every day to help us, survive. And she was, so she wasn't wasn't a motivational speaker as far as verbalizing, but she was motivational in how she went about life. If that helped.
Right. I mean, she was a motivational figure, right? I mean, what is Helen Keller known for?
Overcoming, odds that a lot of people wouldn't even think that was surmountable. A lot of people in that situation would just sit and have people take care of them all day, right? And just, I don't know. I can't even say that I would be able to. I guess I would if I really wanted it bad enough, but just not being able to see, that's a lot for me right now. Like, oh my God, you know.
Yes.
But and so a son kisser, and if I didn't, how are you doing? It says exactly, and we will continue to strive regardless. Yes, indeed. And Kimmy, you say children must learn unaltered full history, molding their minds and hearts to believe that. Yeah, we actually do. We got to teach our children a good belief system to believe in themselves. But it's hard to teach your children that if they see that you don't believe in yourself, right? Um, and I don't want to say Black people don't like to take risks, because I think we do take a lot of risks. I just think sometimes we are taught to be a little bit more on the safer side. Go get you a good job, save up, retire when you're 40, 50, 60, 70. I don't know how old it is. And then, go live a good life, maybe to pay it off your house by then. And then you go play bingo and whatever it is, right? So we're taught to kind of be more on the safer side. Thunder, you say, I was trying to help someone out. They needed some cash for bills, and they had a power tool that they wanted to sell me. I drove over there, and they had me waiting in the sun and didn't return my call. See, they and you were helping them. I'm sure you probably got all the power tools you need, but it's like, damn, I'm trying to help you, and you ain't thirsty enough. You ain't hungry enough for whatever it is you're trying to get. So, but that's too bad. And DL, you say, and if I didn't already, hello, says Black people do work hard. This guy is stereotyping us heavily. What foreign flag does he fly on Twitter? I'm
a flag. No, let me have it. Let me. So, welcome to the show, DL. Obviously, you haven't heard a word I said. I never said Black people don't work hard. But this is the point of the show. We deal with the nigga shit. So here's your 30 seconds. I didn't say that Black people don't work hard. I said we have self-esteem issue, number one. So, and I don't even have a Twitter, so I don't know anything, and I don't know what a foreign flag is, but I do like to see foreign flags because it makes me appreciate the shit that I have here in America. And you know what? Let me speaking of foreign flags, I was in Mexico. Me and my girl were having coffee, and this white lady sat down next to us, and she looked at me. She goes, "You ain't from here." I said, "Oh, no, you don't say it." She goes, "I don't see Black men." She goes, "I love Black men." And she looked me dead in the face. And my girlfriend started busting up laughing. She goes, "I love Black men." And she just going on and on. And and I was like, okay, so I had to change the subject. The point I'm making is people love us. When they see Black people, they attract to us. What if we felt that way about each other when we see Black people? Like, you talked earlier about Black people doing well and we having crab barrel in the bucket. I love seeing Black dudes. When I see a Black man that's doing well, I approach him and be like, yo, what is it that you do so I could be like that? I had a brother pull up at this car wash by me when this Rolls Royce, like Phantom. I walked right up to him. I was like, dude, what do you do? He goes, I'm in real estate. I said, cool. There's two of us. He goes, well, you got a range? I said, yeah, but I'm looking at your stuff. And you look at peace right now, my brother. I'm over here hustling. So I love to see Black men and women doing well. We just need to all become that way. That's it. So y'all need to. So the nigga hour is over. So the dumb comments, let's flush the rest of them, because like some of y'all ain't gonna never have shit. It's probably the same dude that prayed to 4 gods, Jesus is every day, all day, and ain't got shit. That's the other thing. If y'all want to keep it real, see, now you got me started. If y'all want to keep it real, if we can stop spending so much time praying to something versus doing something. Do you understand what I'm saying? We are so damn religious. Every time I turn on the TV and it's money, 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 they always throw the religious thing into it. What if we just dealt with the money? You know, what if we left church out of money? I hear your child saying God is everything. You need God. Take God with you wherever you go. You don't need to take God. If you really believe in God, do you think you need to grab him and go? Or do you think God is everywhere?
And in you. And you are, God.
It's funny, yeah, people say, oh, you take God with you. Like, seriously? Okay, hey, God, let's go. Like, fool, I'm God. I'm standing over you. Like, y'all really believe that God can listen to 6 billion conversations at once and make a move individually, but somehow, anyways, let's stop using religion, Black people. That's our crutch. is religion is our crutch. Every time you turn black TV, it's a church, it's a preacher, oh Lord, oh. And why don't we spend more time talking about the money? That's it. That is what I want to deal with. But no matter how many shows we do, it never just ends and stays on the money. Somebody come out the woodwork with some nigga shit. Like, Jesus, okay. Jesus, you believe in, but then do what he says. Right? You believe in Allah, do what he says. Stop talking about him. Oh, I got to pray on it. Oh, that's a damn lie. And you need your ass whooped with 40 lashes for using God as an excuse not to. And stop using your kids. And stop, I'm going back to school to do what? The same shit you ain't doing? Like, you 60 years old, you talking about I can't start a business because I'm going back to school. Knock it off. That's just horse shit. School ain't gonna do shit for you. Matter of fact, schools are laying off people. Microsoft is laying off. Facebook is laying off. Zillow, Redfin, everybody's laying off. Like, and these are people that have been to school.
Right. And DL and Sunkisser, I see you guys are having a little bit of a problem with what's being said. And I kind of see where y'all going from, y'all coming from, as far as, and Walter, I don't think you understand what they're saying as far as what flag you fly, because on Twitter, I guess it's on Twitter, I don't know, there's kind of a lot of conversation about whether you are foundational Black American, whether you're American descendant of slave, whether you're Jamaican, you're Nigerian, all this other stuff. So basically, and I'm gonna try to be as nice as I can, because I personally try not to get into that whole conversation about, what sets you rep, because to me, I just think that in our community, we've created these gangs. And to me, that's what it sounds like. What rep you set, what sets you rep, what flag you flying, what flag you flying sounds like? What rag you flying? Who says that? Gang members say, what flag are you repping? What, you got the red rag or the blue rag or the purple rag or whatever, your gang is from. And so I see that a lot, and it's very disheartening. But as I always say, with all of these groups that we have, and I don't care if, you associate with those groups, I'm not saying not to, I'm just saying I personally don't, because at the end of the day, white supremacy don't give a damn what group you from. We only do that. But I'll ask everybody that's in DL and Sunkisser, maybe y'all can answer this for me. Why are we so quick to separate from our own people, but we won't separate from white supremacy? How is it that we have made all these groups, to me, as I said, they remind me of gang activity. How is that we form these groups to not like each other, but we haven't formed a group to, combat that of white supremacy? And I know I'm asking a loaded question, because white supremacy is not something that we can combat. But instead of forming groups to try to unify, to do better as Black people, and I'm not even going to bring in the African brothers and sisters overseas. I'm talking about our Black people here. How is it that we have formed a schism in our community, but we won't form a schism against that of white supremacy? Like, we fight to separate from Black people, but you're still doing stuff with white people. We still, hanging on the masses' hand. I bet a lot of the people who talk about they from this group, that group, they go punch a white goddamn clock. But you ain't gonna separate from the man, but you want to separate from a Black brother or sister because they don't agree with your viewpoint. And that is most maddening to me, is because I think we always talk about in our community being on code, which I think we just completely foobarred that whole, thing, being on code. We in our community have relearned that being on code means even being on code with some bullshit. That's what we believe that being on code is. And so, like I said, I try not to get into that, because look what it does. It causes us to, what flag you flying? Oh, you talking about, it's like, no, at the end of the day, Black people, especially in America, we got the same set of problems, but we would be wise, because, and I'm going to say this to y'all. Y'all can take what y'all want to take from this. See, I'm one of those people who study. And what I will impress upon you guys to do, those of you guys who follow these groups and you want to fight with each other, what I want you to do when you get off of here, I want you to go Google Jim Jones, and I ain't talking about the rapper from the Dipset or wherever he's from. I'm talking about Jim Jones that took all of most of the people he took to Guyana. You know, a white man was able to take most of our people in his church to Guyana and had them sell their homes and save all their money. Do you know what he took them to do? He took them to drink Kool-Aid full of cyanide at the end of the day. And do you know a man said when he found his mama's body over there, all her joints in her body was dislocated from her body because she didn't want to drink that Kool-Aid. But you know what? She should have questioned the goddamn cup of Kool-Aid is before she took her ass over there. Now, mind you, like I said, I study these things. Mind you, everybody was trying to talk to their loved ones. Don't go. Don't go. He's a charlatan. Oh, you don't know why you're going over there. And then you know what else they did? When they got over there, Jim Jones was sleeping with the kids. He was sleeping with the people's wives. He was even sleeping with the husbands. And they finally got a note over to a senator. It was up north in San Francisco or Sacramento. They got a note over to him that, hey, help us. We're in distress. The senator went over there with his people, and they all pretended once they got over there, oh, no, everything is good. Somebody slipped them a note, and they said, help. We're pretending everything is not good. Word got back to Jim Jones that the senator was on to him. And do you know they shot all of those people on that tarmac, including that senator? And when it was all said and done, all of those people were forced to drink the Kool-Aid because they did not stop to question who are we following and why are we following these people? They didn't do it. And you know what? Jim Jones didn't drink that Kool-Aid. You know why he didn't drink that Kool-Aid? Because he saw what it did to everybody else. He took a bullet to the dome. He took the easy way out instead of flip-flopping around and all that agony over a cup of cyanide. So he didn't even take or do any of the stuff he was preaching. So the point that I'm making, I hate to be long-winded here, and I'm not trying to change your mind. You can fly whatever flag or rag you want. You can do that. But don't try to demonize and bring down other people, because on one hand, you're talking about unity. We only unified with this group of people, but then you talk bad and down to other people who don't believe like you. It's like, can we get to a point in society to where, as far as Black people, can say, you know what, I don't really dig what you saying much, but I'm not going to call you names. I'm not going to try to single you out and try to bring you down and not use critical thinking or emotional intelligence. I'm going to try to have a conversation with you to try to see why you feel the way you do. Maybe we can meet somewhere in the middle and say, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, it's all love. But that's why I tell y'all and I ask y'all to do what you want, you're grown. But pay attention. Anything that's causing division among your people who you say you love, don't you think that could be problematic? I mean, I'm just asking. But when you get off of here, study Jim Jones. Everything he did from the beginning to the end, that was a whole white man. That took probably 95% of his congregation in the People's Temple was Black people. Black people believed every word he said, and the rest is history. That's all I'm saying. So I would just say this, and you guys know that this show, we talk about a whole lot of stuff. We're not going to agree on everything, but I like to try to have a common ground. But I don't like all the name calling and the set repping, and I don't like all of that, because what it does is it causes a distraction, and we don't get to talk about the things we should talk about. I love each and every one of y'all, even though y'all don't agree with me or whatever the case is. It's all good. I don't take it personally, and neither should you. But all I'm saying is sometimes we got to do a little bit more critical thinking. Like, what am I getting involved in here? If I don't separate from my people, before you separate from your people, ask yourself, what did I do today to separate from white supremacy? And if you didn't do nothing to separate from white supremacy, the last thing you need to be talking about is what you were doing to separate from your people.
And this is Black TV. This is Black media for you. This chick conversation right here, we've gone into primetime Black television. This conversation right here, this is what we enjoy seeing. You know what I'm saying? It's insane to me. You said something about Jim Jones thing. I've heard that story. It's crazy to me. And I think once you really go into the depths of it, it will just blow your mind. It's craziness. But here's the thing about white supremacy. In order for them to be supreme, somebody else has to believe it. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I have a lot of white friends, I have white kids and all that stuff. Because when I get into the mirror and I go, thank God I am a black man. My God, I go, if I could come back all over and do it again, maybe I'll be George Clooney. Shit, I don't know. But outside of George Clooney and some shit like that, you know what I'm saying? I would come back as a black man for all kind of reasons, for my physical appearance, the way that I build muscle fast, all kinds of other stuff. Use your imagination, our wit, our charm. I hear women of all colors say, "I love black men. They're so charming. They're affectionate." Blah 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 blah. They talk about black men as this romance. Otherwise, why would all these women of all these other colors risk their lives, their well-beings, their fortunes, their family relationships to be with us? At what point do we go, damn, maybe we should think of ourselves highly? As a black man, I cannot walk into a room full of white and Mexican women in my suit, getting up clean. I cannot get to the bathroom without one of them bitches saying, hey. So, and black women, I know you get it too. So at what point do we believe that and go, we are superior? So us being superior, how can you have a white supremacist if you are superior too? I don't think most people, even white people, think they are superior to us. I don't think most white people really go, oh, we're superior. I think most white people have a complex because they have struggled, and a lot of times how they got shit. Like when I was even in Mexico, in San Miguel, they have this beautiful church that they duplicated from Spain. There's other, and they have the bigger one in Spain, but we know how the Spanish got their shit. They came over here to kill the indigenous people. You can read all about it. So they know how their family, how their wealth was built. If you're white in this country, if you're a white 40-year-old and you inherited $10 million from your father, there's a good chance that money was ill-gotten along the line of your family tree. At Lloyd's of London, Bank of America, Chase Manhattan, whatever it is, De Beers, man, you want to hear about black crime? Study De Beers, the diamond companies that you Negroes wear so much jewelry and De Beers and the diamond. Do the research on De Beers and then put on a diamond ring. So we have all this talk about white supremacy. What if we start believing we are supreme? Right? And the crazy part is, where I learned a lot of my black history? It's come from a lot of white people. A lot of white people educate me on black history. A lot of the YouTube clips I send to my sister, my family, or this Asian chick, and from white people, from Emily Chang, from Bloomberg, and I'm like, they know we are superior. When do we feel that way? And I've learned a lot of shit from white people. Finances, investments, strategies, taxes. I mean, I told you about the old group I was in with all white dudes and me. But I take that and I bring it back to black people. And then black people shit on it. Oh, this nigga think he too good. Who's he think he is? All he wants to talk about is money. It's the money show, dumbass. So I go get all that shit that I learned from the white man and I teach it to black people and we fight about it. Some nigga pop up, oh my God. Oh, God is God. Money is godly. God ain't got shit to do with money. God has to do with creation and creating a way. It's up to you to fulfill that shit. Stop bringing up God in these money conversations. God don't need money. You think God's up there going, all right, I need that money. Like the dude that can say the oxygen is going from the earth. Everyone is dead in 8 minutes. You think he needs us to bring him up? It's an excuse not to do shit. Black people, stop diverting. This is a money show. A money show, which means we talk about money. Focus on the money and the supremacy issues with white people. Because white people, okay, let's call them supreme. Do you know why white people have supremacy? If that's what we're going to give them, the title we're going to give them to them? Because they have more money. And they got the money ill-gotten. Yes, but they still got more money. So what if we go and get some of that money? Would that make sense? This shirt, my shirt, revenue equals rights. I had somebody from Atlanta buy one a couple days ago. This is the shirt she bought. This is our number one selling shirt. It's money. Money makes moves. If black people, if you want to really catch white people and you're serious financially, stack your money. put money away. That's it. That's how if we want to bridge the gap of what we call white supremacy. Now, us being wealthy doesn't guarantee us safety. Sure, Kanye said, "I'm still a nigga." What's his lyric is? He's still a nigga in a band.
And a coupe.
Yeah, still a nigga in a coupe. True, but a nigga in a coupe gets pulled over, probably has a little money saved to hire a lawyer. Like if you watch the show of All American, when Tay Diggs, his kids, they all get profiled. Karen or Crenshaw Kathy buys an ice cream store in Crenshaw and then kicks them out and calls the police. And there's a whole episode on how they get profiled in this shop that used to be a chicken shop or something in Crenshaw. And the girl's like the lady's like, "Oh, I need you guys to leave," Karen voice. And the girl's like, "You need us to leave the restaurant that you bought in our community." And I'm like, damn, like, how is she buying it? A business goes vacant. Like, where are the black people to fill that void? Or maybe the black people can't fill that void because black people stop going there. I don't know. Like Kathy can't move into the black neighborhood if we keep our shit together. Gentrification just means that black people don't have the money and somebody of a different color brought the money in. That's it. I mean, you got Asians in Crenshaw. Like, think about this for a second. How much do you have to want to earn money to be an Asian lady and buy a liquor store on the corner of Crenshaw and Stocker or Florence and Normandy?
Well, I think they also get it too. They, Farrakhan talks about it a lot. They know all they got to do is, set up shop. They don't even have to do no advertising or any of that kind of stuff because they know we gonna go running up in there with our money. It's the best place to set up shop is in our neighborhoods. So they know that they don't live in our neighborhoods. Most of them don't. They take that big sack of money, back to their gated communities at the end of the day. But yeah, they'll do business in our communities all day long, but they ain't gonna put money back into the community. They'll take it out. So that's why they set up in our communities. It has nothing to do with them being fearless. Shoot, they know where the hell they setting up shop, right in the middle of the neighborhood. But they know, especially now, they're going to be one of the most protected people in the United States. But also, we talked about this a lot, and I wish she was on here. I can't think of her name, but she says, we always talk about, oh, well, we need to get rid of the Asian business or the Arab business or whatever. And she says, we acting like we gonna treat the black business any better. The one thing about the Asians and the Arabs, they know we least likely to run up in their shops. But if it was a brother or sister on that corner, we'd be up in there doing them do-lo all day long. So, we really need to change that mindset. But yeah, they not setting up in there because they fearless. They setting up in there because it's money. And like you said, shit, money rules everything. Money will make you weather the storm if you know you're going to get a bag every day.
So that needs to be our conversation. And until I don't care what we talk about. We could come do this show every week for the next 10 years until we get our. I guess money is basic. Money is just energy. That's all it is to it. Some of us are attracted to money. That's it. And people say, "Oh, money is the root to all evil." No, it's not. It's the love of money is the root of all evil. That's it. Because when you control money, like think about this: when you control money, you have the ability to deal with something else because you are in control. That's it. When money is control, and I know because I have my up and down moments. I'm the type of person that would start a business and is doing okay, but my black ass is like, oh, on to the next one. So instead of saying, oh, I'm gonna chill and I'm gonna enjoy this, I tend to want to do something, add on to it. And sometimes it takes me through financial pain because I want to keep building. And I've had people say, yo, just chill, Negro. You're doing the cars, you got your Airbnbs. Yo, like, just enjoy your money. But I have trouble doing that because I know I have 6 other kids. One of them, and my grandson is on the way over here right now. They want to come chill and hang out, and I enjoy that. But I know I have 6 kids and 4 in-laws and some other shit going on. I need to take care of them.
Let me address this. Terrence, how are you doing? You say, I respect this sister, but she just completely lied on FBA and what they are. And I'm not FBA is Foundational Black Americans. Well, I didn't lie on them. I just said from my perception, because I really don't know exactly what it is they do, because I don't consider myself a part of that group at all. Um, I just don't. I don't get involved in group think or group activity, and that's not any shade to them. I'm just saying that what I've seen is materialize in the last year or so is a lot of gang-like activity. I mean, y'all, come on, man. Y'all been on Twitter. Y'all been on Twitter and seen, the verbiage and the tweeting, however you classify commenting on Twitter, and it's pretty brutal in those Twitter streets among our people. And so, again, I don't subscribe to any sect as far as any of those groups. I do believe that Black people deserve reparations and what's due us. I mean, I believe that before these groups per se came along, reparations is not a new idea, even though a lot of us in our community, we act like it is. We've been asking for reparations since they took it from us, after slavery, right? So it's not a new idea. Is it a new, a revived conversation? Sure. But I think, and this is my opinion, I think I'm entitled to it. No shade to anybody. I just think it's gotten into silly season, because now we're not really, when I say we, I'm talking about Black people as a collective. We're not really talking about how to move the ball. I just see a whole bunch of fighting amongst our people. And so I don't really know a whole lot about Foundational Black American, the cause or any of that. I know who is the leader of it per se. And I see people identify themselves as that. But as I say, I'm just one of those people. I don't participate in group think. I like to think for myself, because when I think for myself and I learn things that I'm supposed to learn, then I feel like I can help my people. But anything that causes division, I don't think that's really a good thing. But so I'm cool with us separating from white supremacy. It's just that I don't hear that as much as, those groups talk about separating from white supremacy as much as I hear and see them separating from other Black people. So that's kind of what I said. So I'm not trying to misrepresent them, because, again, in all fairness, I don't study what it is that they do, if that makes any sense.
And even if you felt that way, who gives a fuck? Like, since when do we not have an opinion? There's some shit I don't like. I don't mean we gotta fight. Like, damn, like, so what? Even if she felt that way, who gives a damn? This Black people, this is the thing we need to learn how to do, is disagree. I'm a registered Republican. I'm a Black man. I'm a registered Republican. When I say that, it causes pain in Black people, which blows me away. Even in Mexico, this white lady that was on me, she goes, well, how do you vote? I said, I'm a Republican. I vote, for Obama, but, I register Republican, and then I go from there. She goes, oh my God, like how? I was like, oh, screw. Like, no, you don't get to do that. Because I'm Black, I'm not a Democrat. We can disagree on politics. But like Black people, man, if you disagree on abortion, church, or politics, those are fighting words. Like, we fight, like we will raise our voice, and we're toe to toe in the living room over these subjects. I don't see too many other groups that battle each other over shit like that. Like, man, like Kanye, I know Kanye's, he has his moments sometimes. But that thing he said about slavery, I get where he was going. And TMZ took that statement all the way to the goal line. And when I watched the whole interview, it's like, he didn't say we wanted to be slaves. He said there were so many of us and few of them. It was almost like it was a choice. And he said, all of y'all versus them. So it's a comment like that makes me go, oh, you know what? He's right. Now I get it. Being a slave back then would have been wholly different. Like, okay, fool, you go first. You know what I'm saying? But like, the comment still made sense. And when I see Black leaders, good ones, make comments, like when Bill Cosby tried to make those comments about investing and building your wealth, and we ate his ass up, how dare he give us financial advice? This is a man that's on his way to being a billionaire before Becky and them showed up.
And that's what I said. And Terrence, to see your podcast, I have no problem with an opinion, but when you lie on people purposely, it's not wrong, brother. Well, I mean, whether it's a lie is your opinion. You can't tell me my opinion is a lie. I didn't say what they represented, but even if I did say it, like you said, so what? So what? I mean, it's like again, we should be able to have our opinion. They don't tell me what to do. I'm not even a part of that group, so I can say what I want to say. I can say what I want to say. I'm free as I want to be, and I'm free to have my opinion. And because I don't agree with a person's group, see and then you say you were not a part of the group. I don't know. I can't tell, but that you're proving my point about those groups. Because if I say something that you don't like, then what you try to do is you try to demonize me, which I don't care about that. I don't care if you try, because and no shade. I'm not trying to be, salty, but I don't really get wrapped up into people's opinions about me, because I don't buckle to peer pressure, which unfortunately I think a lot of people have done. And our people are sometimes emotionally immature, and we do buckle to peer pressure. So you're gonna come on here and I'm just calling you, you're gonna stand on yours, I'm gonna stand on mine. You're gonna come on here and try to browbeat me and then try to accuse me of lying on somebody, which I never did. I mean, this is in Memorex, right? Y'all remember that? This is live and in Memorex. You can rewind this and point out where I lied on them, but that's the way you understand it. That's your interpretation. I can't do nothing about that, but I'm not going to bow down to pressure of something that I don't even subscribe to. That's silliness. But that's what I said. We as Black people, we are emotionally immature. I should be able to say that I don't agree with that ideology without somebody trying to demonize me or whatever the case is. Because everything I say, I mean, you don't agree with what I say, and I'm not mad at you. That's your opinion. But I think we need to be able to have some maturity so we can have somewhat of a discussion without people getting all in their feelings. Let's embody some emotional intelligence so that we can have conversations that are conducive to moving the ball forward for Black people. That's all I'm saying about it.
And that's a good point. You made a good point. Move the ball forward, which means just even if you move it, in football, they call it 4th and inches, baby. Like, we need to move the ball just a little to break the goal line. Some of you guys, and I'm going through some of these comments, some of you guys are like, the Black Christ, when he gets here, everything will change. Some of y'all ain't seen no Christ. So I don't know what that's about. 1. 2, let's stop talking about reparations, and let's stop talking about crypto as a new dollar one day, and the Christ is coming, so everything will be changed. Okay, until then, how about you do for motherfucking self? How about that? Because, okay, let's hypothetically say reparations get signed in. Joe Biden on his deathbed says, here's the deal. I'm sorry. Here you go. Every Negro, because that's what he's going to say. When Joe go out, he's going to be in his feelings. The Negro people. Okay, everybody gets reparations. How long is that going to take for you to get your check? How long is it going to take to get past? Not that Joe Biden doesn't have 40 other things he's dealing with. Let's just say he said Ukraine, gas prices, inflation, food prices, this prices. The fact that we're running out of water, that Texas, the Lake Conroe is receding. Mexico, their lakes are receding. Mexico is in a 2-year drought. Houston is having the worst weather in history. It's insane. Some of these places, I was smoking a cigar in the airport with this dude from Cologne, Germany, where me and my girlfriend visited. He goes, our winters are getting warmer. We are in trouble. So let's say all that stuff Joe pushes to the side and he cuts you a check for reparations. How long is it going to take you to get it? And then what are you going to do with it when it's here in 3 or 4 years? Some of y'all need to make moves for tomorrow. Some of y'all need to make a move. Open your E-Trade account, etrade.com, non-brokerage, non-IRA account, a brokerage non-IRA, and start putting $100 a week in there. Or open you up a stash account or whatever account, Acorn, and put $100 a week into it. Just start with the basic shit. Just start with that. You wait on Black Jesus to come back. You know what I'm saying? And I wait for the black dollar. I work on the black dollar. You wait for Black Jesus. How about that? Because I know I can guarantee you one of those is real for sure. And that's the black dollar. I've never seen Jesus. I ain't seen the Ark. And I've been all over the world. And the crazy part is, when I go around most of the world speaking of Black Jesus, you know what color their Jesus is? He's dark. On the wall in the churches, their Jesus is dark. In Germany, the Jesus is black. On the wall, he's a black dude. Like, come on, y'all. So there's your Black Jesus. And y'all don't believe in black Jesus anyways, because if you did, you'd treat yourself better. If you really thought God was black and Jesus was black, you would treat yourself better.
Can you address this question here?
Are you going to take the microchip?
Oh,
What
sorry.
microchip? I'm going to do whatever they make me do. Shit. I don't know. Am I planning on, do I want a chip? No. That's the stuff I'm talking about. Like the microchip society is so far away. Like the stuff we can be working on now, like I hear people say cash is going away. But while it's here, why don't we do something with it? And you guys, and here's the other thing too. If we go to a chip society, it ain't like the people with no money gonna get a chip with money in it. You're just gonna be a broke chip nigga. That's it. You're gonna be they oh my chip, oh fill my chip up. No, nigga, you ain't got no money, you gonna get an empty chip. You just gonna have a chip. So why not get the cash? So when they do convert it to a chip and you get a chip in your arm, you have some money in your arm. This is what I'm saying. Stick with the stuff that's in front of us. Right now, everybody can sell a pot, a pan, a pen, a spoon, a phone, a mouse, or a liquidator bottle, or go to start you a website for $10 on GoDaddy and go to Shopify and give them $29 a month and create you a website and sell some shit on it. Everybody can do that. Do you guys know, like I made the comment about Mexico, about all the Americans moving down there? Do you realize a lot of those Americans in Mexico are working online, making money? They're making money in Mexico. Bars, restaurants, happy, chilling, and they're working online. And we're in the greatest country in the world financially, bitching and having this dumbass conversation about boom shakalaka shit.
Let me address this. Tawana, how are you doing? Terrence should say, nah, that sounds like Jim Jones. I'm going to do what they tell me to do. Well, I don't know what you do, but if you punch a clock, you're doing what they tell you to do. So,
well, when I say I'm going to do what I said I'm going to do what they make me do. That's what I said. Like,
I mean, really, but my thing is this. So let me come in right here. This is where critical thinking really come into play, right? Like we really think we saying something. You're going to do what they tell you to do. If you're going to punch a clock, you're going to do what they tell you to do. And if you don't, you ain't going to have no job. So, I mean, it's like, it sounds good to say that. And of course, ain't nobody just going to be, willing to sign up to have somebody do some foolishness to them. But we are made in this country to do stuff we don't want to do all the time. And we don't say nothing about it. I mean, I'm just saying, so yeah, somebody make you do it, then what you going to do? What you going to do? Just like if your boss say, I know you work Monday through Friday, but guess what? We doing overtime on Saturday, and everybody who don't come in here today is going to get written up. I bet you gonna show up. What you gonna say? Nah, you ain't gonna make me show up. I bet you gonna show up. You gonna be there. You might not be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, but you're gonna be there. Why? Because your livelihood depends on that. And so I get what you're saying, Terrence. Of course, we're not gonna sign up for no foolishness, but as far as, and that's the other thing too. And here as Black people in America, we act like we got all this freedom and all this power to say this, that, and the other. Farrakhan, he says, I'm a definition of a true free Black man. And when we get to that level, then you can talk about what you are and what you ain't gonna do. But I think, like I said, it just comes, sometimes it gets into silly season. And again, it's like we try to pick apart things. Say, he said it was gonna make him. He was gonna sign up to do it. So I was like, all the things that was said, that's what we gonna run away with. You know what I mean? So it's like we gotta get, as Black people, we gotta get out of this selective hearing. It's like, I'm just waiting for him to say that one thing so I could pop off. You know what I mean? It's like, but what about all the other stuff that he said? In the last 5 minutes, he talked about an E-Trade account. He talked about a Shopify, opening up a business, and all other stuff. But we heard the Negro say, I'm gonna do what they tell me or make me do. Then we ran off the rail on, see, I knew it. I knew it was something wrong. It's like, this man just told us how to make money. I mean, a pen, a mouse, a water bottle, but that's what we heard.
Yeah, and again, you guys, she makes a point, critical thinking. And what that means is when you hear something, instead of responding, you go through all the ways, all the things that could mean, and then you pick the best case scenario. And you guys, this is also relationship advice. I know as a man, I have made so many mistakes in business conversations or with women because they say something and I took it the wrong way. And lately, thank God, hallelujah, boom shakalaka, whatever you believe, that I've been able to catch myself and not fuck up a blessing or a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, a girlfriend's like, you gonna be home tonight? Like, why are you asking me that? Instead, I'm like, okay, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna be home tonight. I come in and there's a bunch of shirts. I got you a bunch of clothes. I want you to try them on. I almost ruined my blessing by my old way of thinking. Why she asking what time I'll be home? Oh, she must have some nigga coming over. Oh, she want to know what I'm doing. No, you dumbass. I bought you some clothes so you can try on some new clothes. So when we get on the airplane, you don't embarrass me. So critical thinking is you go, okay, let me think about the whole situation before I respond. And that's why, like, you notice when you asked me about the chip and I hesitated for a second and I was like, I'm gonna do what they make me do. Not what I'm gonna do what they tell me to do. I'm gonna do what they make me do.
Or just think about the ATM card. Now, we're old enough, yes, we are old enough to know before they called it a versatile card. An ATM card. Before that, you
Ready
actually
teller.
the ready teller. Before you had to walk into the bank. There was no ATM machine. If you wanted cash out, you walked into the bank and they gave you cash. Now imagine how many people said, I ain't gonna do that. I'm not gonna get me no versatile, no ready teller card. I'm gonna do it the old-fashioned way. And what everybody got now? An ATM card. People rarely go into the bank now. In fact, if you go into the bank nowadays, they got one teller and the rest of them are ready tellers, ATM machines, right? So, I mean, the society is going to have us acclimate whether we want to or not. It's just a fact. But I hear you, Terrence. It's really, what they make you do. How far are you going to go with it? You know what I mean? But there's just things you're going to have to do whether you want to or not. I mean, how many of y'all had a doctor's appointment lately and they called you over the phone for the appointment? That was unheard of 5 years ago. They call you for a doctor's appointment. And then nowadays they want to FaceTime you. My father, when he has his doctor's appointments, they want to FaceTime. I'm like, well, my dad don't have, an iPhone to FaceTime, so they'll call me and all that other stuff. But the point that I'm making is they don't even want to see you in the doctor's office unless you're damn near dead. So, I mean, that's just the way of the world, whether we like it or not.
I mean, just start with the basic stuff. Put a little money away. Start with that. If you don't believe anything else I say, just start by putting a little money away. Put $100 a week away. And if you don't have $100 a week away, find another way to get it. Come on, y'all. We're talking about $100. We're talking about selling a few things and doing this. I just told you guys, my sister makes a good point. I just told you how to start a business. $10 GoDaddy. $29 Shopify. You don't like this t-shirt that I'm wearing. You understand these t-shirts are not in my house. I created, not when I say I mean somebody in my circle, created a Shopify account. I bought Verbal Herb for $9.99, connected it to Shopify, and then connected Printify to that. When somebody goes to Verbal Herb and they buy a shirt, Printify that has this shirt in their warehouse and these colors in the heat press machine, they press out this shirt and they send it to you. I don't even have the shirts in my house. If you order the shirt right now, and you should go to Verbal Herb because I got a bunch of them, make you mentally tougher. If you order the shirt, I don't even know where the shirts come from. I couldn't tell you what Printify, what their offices are. If I walked past the shop of Printify factory and my shirts were being made, I wouldn't even know how to find it. $10, $29 Shopify. Printify, they charge a monthly fee of like $20 or so. For $60, $70, you could have your clothing line shipped and start making money. That's it. For $70, you can start a clothing line. Period. That's it. Get your E-Trade account, put $100 a month away. So when the world stocks start, because right now banks and everybody's reporting their second quarter losses and all that stuff. So when stocks start sliding and going down, you can buy those stock options cheaper throughout the end of next year. So when the market rebounds, you own all these stock options on these appreciating stocks. And boom, you got more money. That's two things you could do. Like, you guys, come on. Like, you could be in Africa. Those of you that want to go back to Africa right now, you can go to Africa and start just a clothing line from the shores of Africa. You can do what I just told you, from Egypt, from Madagascar, from Ghana, Ethiopia, wherever you are, you could do what I just told you to do. And you know what? A lot of those people in those countries, you know what they're doing? Just that. But for whatever reason, you guys, you hear it, and I'm not talking to all of us. I'm just talking about, some of the people that come on here and, talking about Gentiles and shit. Like, you know what? Like, I don't even know what a Gentile is. But do they have cash? I'd like to meet them. That's it. Let's move money. Another thing, man. You guys, I told everybody, go get Capital One. Everybody, Capital One is giving out credit card. Well, actually, they're cutting back now because of the interest rates in the recession. They're now cutting back. Capital One, their delinquencies are on the rise. So a month ago, 6 months, last year when I told you guys to go to Capital One, they're handing everybody credit. Now Capital One is like, hold up, slow down. They're cutting back. All these people, Synchrony Bank, they're giving out credit. They're still, it's happening, but it's getting smaller. And so you can do those things. And I only tell people the shit that I'm doing. That's all. I only can tell you stuff that I'm doing because I don't know anything else. As God is my witness, I have this iPhone. My sister tell you I still don't know how to use it. I just use it as a backup number for my friends and family. But I'm doing something on the iPhone, and then, hey, do you want an Apple Card? And I was like, you want to give me credit? Sure enough. I hit yes, and they sent me this Apple Card from Goldman Sachs. Now, I'm using it. I'm going to borrow money from it, and I'm going to buy something, and I'm going to sell it. And thank you to Apple and Goldman Sachs for giving me that cash to borrow so I can flip. You guys could do that right now. Do you know what I'm saying? And no, I don't know about a stock market in Africa. That's not what I'm telling you.
There's 29 of them, 29 markets, stock exchanges in Africa representing 38 countries. So 29 stock market exchanges or whatever can be found in 38 African countries.
So start here first. Start here first. This is what I was talking about, Thunder. Let's start in America. I'm assuming you live here. Start here. Money is green, and when you take the US dollar to Africa, they will treat you like royalty. The US dollar has power in Africa, in Europe. You show up to Africa with dollars, they treat you differently. You guys think about this for a second. Let's say we were going to start a group and we were going to invest in an African stock market. Can you name 6 African stocks? Do you know how to get to Africa? Like, some of us talking about going to Africa, which costs thousands and thousands of dollars to stay round trip food and getting your way around and all that stuff. But I'm trying to get you to spend $100 a week in your future in America first.
Al has a question. He says his daughter has a new boyfriend and she wants
check his credit.
Huh?
Check his credit. Seriously, check his credit. Make sure his ass is on the move or cut him loose.
She wanted to take him somewhere nice for his birthday, a play and dinner, very expensive for his birthday. And he didn't want to do it. And so she says, I'm just trying to give you a different experience outside of rap music and crab legs. And he got mad.
Oh, I like her. Send her shit. Send her my way. I'll hook her up with somebody. I would be, baby. You know what we could do? Why don't we get some of those crab legs and a nice bottle of wine? And why don't we take the difference?
Well, she's 18.
Okay, well.
So she ain't drinking yet.
Well, so we say, but whatever. Take some of those crab legs and a nice bottle, whatever, of whatever juice you drink. How about we take that and go somewhere nice? And then why don't we take the money that we would have spent instead and let's start something or do something or let's save that money. That's a conversation that would get me excited, right? And if a woman says, like, man up, like, it's not chicken and beer and crab legs anymore. Like, see, that's the thing. Black women try to elevate the black man and we bucket them. We get, but what you talking about? Like, what you mean? Like, a woman will give it to you straight. Women will give it to you. They may not say it the best way, but they'll tell you straight. And they'll say, hey, Like sometimes me and my girlfriend go out and she'll just do me like the devil will like Link. What's her chick's name? Oh my God. What's her name? The famous chick from the Devil Rose product.
Uh,
Sybil-
Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep. She looked me up and down like Meryl Streep. I had on these pink pants, and she just looked like. I was like, no, she didn't. And she didn't say nothing. She just looked me up and down and just moved. I was like, oh, that's cold. And then I changed. And I was like, okay. She don't like these pants. Other chicks do. I wait when I'm around the other chicks. I don't mean side chicks. I just mean when I'm around other people. You know what I'm saying? But okay, so I just changed, and I was looking a little flashy, a little, like Panamanian with all those colors on. So
was looking, as the song would say, fashionably involved.
But you need to take advice from women, man, and you got to get out your feelings. And number one, I don't know how long you could talk to a woman that way before she leave. You get mad, man. One thing you cannot do is get mad at a woman. And men, it never works in your favor, does it? Men, let me know. You have the kind of woman you get mad and she changes her mind. That means she probably got somebody else. Because women don't budge. They will go down with the ship. I have a shirt that says, "Don't go down with the ship. The person that said that is dead." You can get that on Verbal Herb, period. So no, when a woman's giving you advice, most of the time I would say it's for good. For a woman that says, "I want to take you somewhere and experience something nice," what she's saying is, "I want you to see the different world so you'll rise up." You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hey,
I said she was looking loud.
No, I have these pink sweatpants, man. I love this. They rocking. I got some gray and white shoes, and I be matching it, man. The outfit was hitting.
I've seen the pants before.
You seen the pants? I like wearing them all the time.
They're not vibrant pink. They.
I mean, they fuchsia, whatever. But I was like, all right, I'm gonna take advice. But a lot of times, a woman is trying to elevate you so you can see something nice. Like sometimes I make the point, like Beverly Hills, back to Beverly Hills. When I go into Beverly Hills or Hollywood, it's just glamour, beautiful homes. It's just wow. Like, man, I went to the sushi place, Katana, not too long ago, which is music. They had a DJ, which is upscales, Ferraris, Bentleys, people dressed and suited. It was just glamour life. And I was like, I love this. And it just reminded me of how hard I want to work to have nice stuff. Now, when I got back to my area, I was like, okay, some of that stuff wore off, but it's nice to be around.
It was like, I'm back to reality.
You know what I'm saying? And I can afford a lot of that stuff, but it would be to the detriment of my other stuff. Like I could have a brand new Mercedes S550, but to what cost to my investment portfolio and my, the stuff that I'm doing. And I'd only be in that car to impress my woman or to impress a woman, because a 2016 Mercedes S550 is still flying comfortable and the lights come on, change colors, versus the 2022 that is, oh shit, man, this is the real deal, but they're still both nice cars. You understand what I'm saying? So you want to be around nice stuff. So if your woman's saying, hey, do something nicer,
let me ask you this. Why do you think some men, I know not all men, but why do you think some men have a problem with taking advice from their woman? So they say something like, hey, I think you would look nice, in this shirt, or how about we do things this way? And I'm not talking about a pushy, bossy woman, that's being ridiculous. I'm just saying, like you're saying, wanting him to level up, to do new things or open to new experiences. Because let's keep it real. A lot of men, not y'all, I'm talking with some men, y'all don't want nothing but some pizza. But it's like, let's go out and do other stuff. Let's get out the pizza box and go experience other things, right? And I find that kind of odd with our men, that a lot of our men are just stuck in this box. Nope, I don't want to do nothing else different than what I'm doing. I just want to do this, because I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday, and I said, back when we was coming up, I remember people going on dates where the woman dressed up and the man dressed up. But nowadays, and that wasn't you, no, it was my daughter. She just got back from Mexico too. Hell, she traveling right with her uncle. She got she said while they were at dinner, there was a couple, and the lady was dressed up really nice, and her man just showed up in like some shorts and a t-shirt. Like, so I'm like, what happened to that where people look forward to that? You don't have to go spend a lot of money, but it's like, shoot, I want to put on my nice dress and heels, and he put on it. I mean, it don't have to be a whole suit, but a nice button-up shirt and some slacks and some what do you call it, shined up shoes. And what happened to those days? Like, why don't people do that? And back to my original question, why do men nowadays seem like they have a problem with that? Like taking advice from a woman saying, hey, let's level up a little bit.
My original unfiltered, uncritical thinking thought is because they're bitches. That was my first thought, but I'm gonna clean that up.
Well, damn, you done said it already.
Now, Tay Diggs in this show, All American, he's confused because he has an affair. Surprise, it's a show, and he talks about, I had an affair because I was having a tough time in my career, and you were tough on me. That was the first part of the show, and then they swing around, and he confesses to his wife, you were trying to make me a better man, and you were on me, and I, instead of manning up, I took the weak route out, and I had an affair with a woman that was in the position to let me be weak.
Ooh, man, hold up. I'm gonna draw me a whole show around that one. He cheated with a woman that was, did y'all hear that? He cheated with a woman that was in a position to allow him to be weak, opposed to the woman that was like, hey, I want you to be something in life. Let's go level up. Let's go do something. Why is it that a lot of men feel like if they're with a woman like that, she's being too hard? Or like, I never understood that.
And a woman doesn't generally nag if she asks for something and it's reasonable and you do it. She tends to stop until she finds something else. And because women do that. They just keep finding shit. But at least she won't be nagging about the same old thing. Like, me and my girlfriend used to always fight over me brushing my teeth at night. And I'm like, I'm tired, damn it. I brush my teeth in the morning, and I brush my teeth at lunch, and after snack, I'm going to bed. And so what I would do is fall asleep, and she starts sending me all these pictures of like the guys must be crazy to do with the teeth missing and all this shit going on. And every time I fall asleep, she sent me a picture of this dude with no teeth. I was like, all right. And so now, every day before I go to bed, I brush my teeth. And so she just stopped nagging me over and just started sending me crazy pictures of my future for whatever I didn't brush, I ate and then fall asleep. And so I just started doing it. And that's less stuff that we have to fight about. You understand what I'm saying? I was 201 pounds 3 months ago. Now I'm 171, or I don't know. I was in Mexico. Maybe I gained a few pounds. But she used to always push my stomach and laugh like the Pillsbury Doughboy, or whatever. And I used to make me angry. Like to the point one time I raised my voice and was like, don't do that. And she was something to the effect, well, then you shouldn't have that. I was like, oh, this. And then, so then I lost the 30 pounds. And now I notice she's always wanting to touch and feel and, act a little risque. And I'm like, okay, so all right. So it worked. So instead of saying, I'm going to go out and cheat with a big bitch that's bigger than me and it's going to make me feel better about being overweight, I took the advice to work on my health and I lost weight and I look a lot better. And people say, damn, you look good. I like that. And so she's like, oh, okay, all right. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't like her criticizing my weight, but I liked the result of what happened when I made adjustments. Do you understand what I'm saying? I was mad at her all the time, but now I'm happy. I love being 170 pounds, man. You go outside, people look at you differently. You feel better. Your clothes, you got options. You can wear clothes you couldn't wear and shit like that. You can do all kinds of stuff. When you are 30 pounds lighter, man, your world changes mentally. People treat you better, everything. So why not just do it? And that was my thought process. I'm just going to do it. So now when I go out and I see people that are eating cheese and creams and chicken wings and all this food. I just go, man, I'm like, Jesus, Lord, forgive them. They don't know what they do. That's kind of how I feel, because I know what they're doing to their bodies. But I had to take advice first from somebody that wasn't the best person at giving it, but what she was saying was true. I could have just, yeah, there's a lot of women I could be with that don't mind that I'm 5'9" and 200 pounds, and that wasn't fat, but I was heavier. Like when I look at a picture of me when I was 200 pounds versus now, I go, whoa, that's a big dude right there. Look at the Buddha. So, and it makes me feel better that I made the adjustment. And so I listen to her. I don't always like it, but you ultimately will listen to your woman if you want to keep her. I mean, period.
Pioneer, you crazy. So anyway, I know we've been on here for quite a while. Watch, you sound like you overcoming a cold or something.
Yeah, I'm overcoming something. I don't know. I hope it ain't Hey 19.
Right. Hey 19. That's Steely Dan right there. Anyway, we're gonna get out of here, y'all. We love and appreciate y'all. We know it's been the spirit of the conversation, as it usually is with Walter. But again, different opinions, as they say, make the world go round, and we learn from you, you learn from us, and everything in between. And so we will see y'all back here Sunday with Donovan. What we'll talk about, I don't know. I try to make it interesting because I get tired of talking about the same old things, even though we do need to talk about politics and things like that. But if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns or ideas, just reach out to me on email or inbox.
I have an idea. Sure. Why don't you guys talk about something you guys haven't talked about in a long time? You take a guess. The hair hat.
Hell to the no. We not talking about weaves. We ain't talking about we ain't gonna do it. No.
Oh, I missed those hair hat shows.
No, that's Donovan. Y'all go to Donovan's channel for the hair hat conversation. We ain't gonna do that over here, Lord. So anyway, y'all, we will see y'all later. Thank y'all for hanging in there with us. Y'all do something nice, stay cool, and all of that. And see you guys all later. Peace.
All right, y'all.
Bye.
Peace. Cool. Yeah. Good show.